If you want to learn how to make decaf coffee with the Philips 5500, discover the different ways to do it, and find out how to solve the most common problems, don't miss this video. The most common way to make decaf with a Philips coffee maker is by using pre-ground decaf coffee. There are other options too, which we'll cover later in the video, but let's start with the pre-ground coffee method. First, select the drink you want to prepare. Then, go to the strength settings identified by the coffee bean symbol and use this arrow to lower the strength to the minimum setting. As you can see, the coffee bean symbol disappears and is replaced by an icon showing a scoop with ground coffee above it. This means that pre-ground coffee mode is now active. Next, use the measuring scoop included with the coffee maker and fill it with ground coffee. It's important not to add more than one level scoop, since using too much coffee can cause problems during brewing. Now open this compartment on top of the coffee maker and add one level scoop of ground coffee. Finally, press the play button to start brewing. As you can see, the coffee maker begins preparing our decaf coffee. You'll know everything is working correctly because the coffee brews without the grinder making its usual noise. And here's the result, with a rich color and the characteristic layer of crema you would expect from an espresso. Of course, you can follow the same process to prepare regular coffee using pre-ground coffee. Personally, we think coffee made from freshly ground whole beans usually tastes a little better, but the results with pre-ground coffee are still quite good. The process is exactly the same for all the other drinks, including both black coffee drinks and milk-based specialties. However, you may have found this video because you've experienced a problem while using pre-ground coffee. Don't worry, because now we're going to explain how to avoid and solve the most common issues. One of the most common mistakes is adding the ground coffee before turning on the coffee maker. If you add it while the machine is off, the coffee maker won't be ready to receive it properly, and the coffee could fall inside the machine. So always make sure the coffee maker is turned on and that the pre-ground coffee icon is selected before adding the coffee. Another common problem is adding too much coffee or using multiple scoops. The machine is designed to use only one level scoop. If you add more than that, the excess coffee could clog the pre-ground coffee chute or fall inside the machine and leave residue. If you accidentally add too much coffee, first check whether any of it has become stuck inside the pre-ground coffee chute. In this example, there isn't a blockage, but if one forms, you can use the handle of the measuring scoop to gently push the excess coffee down. It's also a good idea to open the access door behind the water tank, remove the brew group, and rinse it using only water. You can then wipe the inside of the coffee maker with a slightly damp cloth to remove any ground coffee that may have fallen inside. Before doing this, make sure the coffee maker is turned off and unplugged. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, pre-ground coffee isn't the only way to prepare decaf with this Philips coffee maker. You can also use whole decaf coffee beans. The drawback is that the machine only has one bean hopper, so this option is really only practical if you drink decaf all the time. We hope we've answered all your questions about making decaf with pre-ground coffee in the Philips 5500 and shown you how to avoid the most common problems. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.